Zoe Franklin is the Liberal Democrats parliamentary candidate for Guildford at the next general election and joins us. We can probably hear the smile from ear to ear with you, Zoe. Good morning.
Good morning, James.
Were you expecting it?
We had really hoped that we would have a good night in Guildford and across the country, but you never can tell with elections, and it absolutely was even beyond our expectations and dreams to gain over 400 seats across the country and to win control of Guildford Borough Council.
Yeah. Do you think people will notice a major difference then locally?
It's going to take time. We know that winning an election is difficult, but also then leading a council always presents challenges. But we are really hopeful now that we can get on with providing a greener, fairer, thriving Guildford Borough, which is exactly what the residents voted for when they voted in 25 Liberal Democrat councillors.
I want to talk about Surrey Heath. You've done well in Surrey Heath. Did you think the Lib Dems would do that well? You were at the count, I think, at the Spectrum when the results were coming through. Talk me through what your emotions were.
Oh my goodness! You see the results slowly come in. You see your number of councillors gradually build, and it takes a long time for those counts to happen. And so by the time we left the Spectrum, it was probably about 8:00, and I think we found out that we'd taken control of the council around 6 with the Merrow result, which you very kindly played back for us and reminded me of all the smiles and joy at that point. But of course, we were also hearing from our friends across Surrey, as you said. So we work really closely with our friends in Surrey Heath and Woking and Waverley, and so to hear that Surrey Heath had won control of the council was also incredibly exciting for us. They are a absolutely fantastic team of hardworking community candidates and volunteers who are now councillors and running Surrey Heath. So that's incredibly exciting. I mean, Jack, your political correspondent, put it really well that that's been Conservative or other things, not Lib Dem or Labour or anything, for over a century, I think he said. It's a massive shift. And across Surrey, you can see how the Conservatives only now run one council. I think when we looked at the numbers, the Liberal Democrats now have the most borough or district councillors in Surrey. And that really says something about how residents feel about the Conservative Party and the mess they have made over the last 4 years and more. It's incredibly exciting.
I want to play you a wee bit of the Culture Secretary, the Conservative Lucy Fraser, and this is what Lucy had to say about the elections.
Let's just look at the context in which those elections took place. We've been in power for 13 years. We've just come out of a pandemic that's affected everybody's life and is affecting the cost of living. We're still at war in Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. And so, the Prime Minister's focusing, quite rightly, on what he's heard over the last 6 months, what I've heard on the doorstep over the last 6 months about what people want us to deliver. And that's what people want us to deliver. They want us to cut inflation and do those other things that he talked about.
Well, is that right? We have been living through unprecedented times, Zoe. It would be difficult for any party to deal with those problems.
Yes, we have been living through unprecedented times. But actually, when I talk to residents on the doorstep, the things that come up again and again, people still haven't forgiven the Conservatives for the way they handled the COVID pandemic in particular. The amount of money that was lost in the whole PPE scandal, in Partygate. People are talking about the NHS, the fact they can't get access to a dentist, that they can't get a quick GP appointment. They are angry about the spiralling cost of living. It's all very well for the Conservatives. People want us to focus on this. But actually, they've been in power for 13 years. And all that's happened for people living day to day is they've seen their quality of life deteriorate in terms of the cost of living going up. People are genuinely really struggling. They are angry. And they've shown that at the ballot box.
Good talking to you. I suppose your prep now is for whenever that election comes.
100%, James.